Right now, a multi-billion-dollar giant is dying. You probably bought something from them last week. You might even have their stock in your portfolio. On paper, they look invincible. Their revenue is up 4%, their dividends are steady, and their CEO just finished a glowing interview on CNBC. But inside the boardroom, there's a smell of smoke that hasn't reached the lobby yet. In 2026, we are witnessing the great hollow-out. Giants like IKEA and Oracle are undergoing massive, quiet restructurings, not because they are out of money, but because they are out of time. The retail world is split into a K-shaped struggle where the middle is being liquidated in real time. You see, success is a lagging indicator. By the time you read the bankruptcy headline in the Wall Street Journal, the actual failure happened 5 years ago. And you aren't waiting for the crash, you're standing in the wreckage. The dust just hasn't settled yet. Most people think failure is a sudden event, like a car crash. In business, it's more like a slow-growing mold. It starts in the corners where nobody looks. It starts with the boiling frog syndrome. The water's getting hotter, the environment is changing, but because the profit margins are still green, the frog thinks it's in a jacuzzi. By the time the frog realizes it's being cooked, its muscles have already seized. This is the psychology of the ghost brand, and if you don't understand how it works, your own business, no matter how small, is already at risk. A ghost brand is a company that has lost its soul, but kept its logo. It usually happens through a process of death by 1,000 optimizations. This is the favorite playground of private equity and MBA heavy management teams. They look at a brand that people love, a brand that has soul, and they see inefficiency. They see excessive spending on customer service, unnecessary high-quality materials, and wasteful community engagement. They start trimming. They replace the human support line with a buggy AI chatbot. They swap the premium supplier for a cheaper one in a different region. They raise the price by 2% while lowering the value by 10%. For the first 2 years, the spreadsheets look miraculous. Profits soar. The executives get record bonuses. They are hailed as geniuses of efficiency, but they aren't building value. They are mining the brand's equity like a strip mine. They are burning the furniture to keep the house warm. But here's where it gets truly unsettling. The customers don't leave immediately. They stay out of habit. They stay because of the trust reservoir the brand built over the last decade. But that reservoir is drying up. Every time a customer has a bad experience, a drop of water leaves the tank. Eventually, the tank hits zero. That's when you see the sudden collapse. It wasn't sudden. It was a 5-year evaporation. In 2026, with the speed of social contagion, that reservoir dries up faster than ever before. We are currently trapped in the complexity trap. As a brand grows, it stops being a product and starts being a bureaucracy. It becomes a machine designed to protect itself rather than serve the user. This is the classic innovator's dilemma. A large company is physically incapable of pivoting because its internal systems are rigged to favor the status quo. If an engineer at a legacy giant proposes a radical new AI integration that could disrupt their core business, the middle managers will kill it. Why? Because that innovation threatens their current budget, their current headcount, and their current quarterly bonus. While these giants are stuck in meetings about meetings, the world has moved on to agentic AI and tribal commerce. In 2026, the barrier to entry for a competitor isn't just low, it's non-existent. A single founder using a fleet of autonomous AI agents can now do the work that used to require a marketing department of 50 people. These atomic brands are leaner, faster, wherein they don't have a complexity trap. They're stealing market share in slivers, and the giants are too big to even notice the pinpricks until they've bled out. Most people think the biggest threat to a successful brand is a better competitor. They're looking at the wrong map. The biggest threat is irrelevance through insulation. The more successful a brand becomes, the further the decision makers get from the actual customer. They start looking at data dashboards instead of human beings. They see a 3% churn rate instead of 3,000 angry people. Data is a shadow of reality. It is not reality itself. When you manage by the shadow, you eventually walk off a cliff you didn't see coming. Think about the K-shaped retail struggle we're seeing right now. On one side, you have ultra-luxury brands that sell status and identity. On the other, you have hyper-efficient, AI-driven discount engines. The middle, the reliable brands we grew up with, is a ghost town. They are too expensive to be a bargain and too soulless to be a luxury. They are stuck in no man's land, trying to optimize their way out of a psychological crisis, you cannot A/B test your way back to having a soul. But here's the most dangerous part of the success trap. The momentum delusion. If you're driving a massive freight train at 100 miles per hour and you cut the engine, the train doesn't stop. It keeps rolling for miles. To an outside observer, the train looks fine. It looks powerful, but the engine is dead. Many of the top 100 brands in the world right now have dead engines. They are coasting on the momentum of 2015. They are surviving on the nostalgia of Gen X and older millennials. But the younger cohorts? They have zero brand loyalty to a ghost. They can smell the hollowing out from a mile away. So how do you avoid this? How do you ensure your business isn't secretly failing while your bank account is growing? It requires a radical shift in how you define performance. Most businesses focus on performance marketing. Spending $1 to get $2 back, it's an addiction. It's a drug that gives you a temporary high while killing your long-term health. In 2026, performance marketing is a commodity. Everyone has the same AI tools to optimize ads. If your only edge is your ad spend, you are a commodity. The only way out is to stay dangerously close to your customer. You have to prioritize retention over acquisition. It sounds boring. It doesn't look as good on a pitch deck. But retention is the only honest metric of brand health. If people are staying, the soul is intact. If they're leaving and you're just replacing them with new leads from your marketing funnel, you are running a Ponzi scheme of attention. Eventually, you run out of new people to trick. You need to lean into the tribal aspect of 2026 commerce. People don't want to buy from a faceless corporation. They want to belong to a community. The brands that are winning right now are the ones that act like niche authorities. They don't try to appeal to everyone. They are willing to be hated by 90% of the world so they can be loved by the other 10%. A ghost brand is afraid to be hated, so it settles for being ignored. Take a hard look at your internal foundations. Are you over-optimizing? Are you cutting the excess that actually makes your product special? If you are a founder, your job isn't to be the chief executive officer, it's to be the chief meaning officer. You are the guardian of the brand's soul. The moment you delegate the meaning of your business to a committee or an external agency, you have started the clock on your own irrelevance. Success is a mask. It hides the rot. It makes you feel like you can't lose, which is exactly when you are most vulnerable. The 2026 market doesn't care about your heritage. It doesn't care about your past trophies. It only cares about one thing. Are you providing a deep, psychological value that cannot be replicated by a generic AI agent? If the answer is, I think so, then you're already in trouble. You must be willing to cannibalize your own success before someone else does it for you. You have to be willing to break the very thing that made you rich to build the thing that will keep you alive. Most CEOs can't do that. They are too attached to the momentum. They would rather ride the train until it stops than jump off and build a rocket. Don't be the boiling frog. Don't be the ghost brand. Stay small even when you're big. Stay obsessed with the why even when the how is working perfectly. The giants are falling because they forgot that a business is a living, breathing relationship between humans, not a math problem to be solved. If you want to survive the next decade, stop looking at your profit margins and start looking at your customers' eyes. The truth is always there, long before it shows up on a spreadsheet. The failure has already happened for many. The question is, has it started for you? Most of these failing giants are addicted to the efficiency narcotic. They believe that if they can just shave 0.5% off their supply chain or automate one more customer touchpoint, they'll win. But you can't optimize your way into someone's heart. You can't spreadsheet your way into a movement. The brands that are thriving right now are inefficient by design. They spend too much time on the unscalable details. They write handwritten notes. They host small, intimate gatherings for their top 1% of users. They do things that don't make sense to a private equity firm, and that is exactly why they are unkillable. They have built a psychological moat that no AI agent can swim across. Stop looking at your competitors' feature lists. You'd start looking at their emotional debt. How many customers have they ignored today? How many shortcuts have they taken this quarter? That debt eventually comes due, and in 2026, the interest rates on broken trust are astronomical. The success trap is a golden cage, but it's still a cage. And if you want to break out, you have to be willing to be dangerously human in a world that is becoming increasingly artificial. You have to be the one who refuses to hollow out. You have to be the one who keeps the soul alive, even when the spreadsheets tell you it's inefficient to do so. Because at the end of the day, the only thing a customer remembers isn't your price point. It's how it felt to be seen by you.